Hello, welcome to this video that I've... Hello, welcome to this video about the anomalies that I've heard in Lovelight. Now, this was a B-side of a song, I think it was Chiquitita, and the first time I heard it was obviously on vinyl. That single disappeared somewhere in the bowels of the earth at some point around about 1980. And I never heard it again until I heard the reissue of Voulez-Vous in about 97, something like that. And the EQ and everything was so sharp and horrible that I never really wanted to hear it again. It more or less totally spoilt it. Now, Tresov's More ABBA Gold version is not as badly EQ'd as all that. It has inverted stereo positions compared to the Voulez-Vous mix. It's also slightly shoddier put together. There are some quite poor edits in the Tresov More ABBA Gold version that are not in Astley's version. Now, whether or not this was because Astley corrected anything, or whether it was just that Astley had access to a better tape of it or not, I don't really know the reason. Whatever, if you just want a nice sound, then the Tresov one is the one to go for at the moment if you want it on CD. If you want one with no anomalies in, or with less obvious anomalies in, then go for the any of the later editions. Possibly Jonsson's is, I don't know, never heard it, but possibly Jonsson's is better, but louder. Does that make any sense? Anyway, let's talk about the anomalies. Out of phase at 9 seconds, and we're all More ABBA Golding here. Don't worry about Astley. We're all More ABBA Golding. Out of phase at 9 seconds, you can hear quite an obvious edit into the verse. It's also similar at about 1:23. If you listen to Astley's version in phase, you'll hear a very minor whip at 8 seconds, but you have to turn the volume up really loud to listen to it, which will be very painful. In phase, at 12 seconds, you can hear a minor dropout on the right-hand side. Okay, now from about 28 seconds to about 31 seconds, this is what happens in the bass in phase. At 28 seconds, it cuts off fairly abruptly. It joins back in at about 29 seconds, and about 31 seconds, there's a very slight flub where the bass goes boom, like that. You can hear at the same point, 28, 29 seconds, something like that, out of phase, you can hear that there has been an edit. It happens during the word changing. At 35 seconds, out of phase, you can hear another edit. At 35 seconds in phase, there's a very slight skip in the drum sound because it's all got a little bit brighter now. The cymbals are much more obvious here than they were a couple of seconds before. Uh, 57 to 59 seconds, out of phase, the backing vocals, which you've been enjoying in the chorus, suddenly drop out completely. They rejoin again at about a minute, but in phase, what you hear... Oh, sorry, text message. In phase, what you hear is Frida going solo for a second. At 1 minute 13 seconds in phase, you can hear the synth sort of stutter a little bit as the chorus comes in. At 1 minute 47, out of phase, you can hear a slight whip sound. At 2:26, maybe 2:27 seconds, out of phase. You can hear as the tape joined together. It's a good edit as we're going into the middle 8, but it is an edit nonetheless. Right, we're now going into a very volatile bit of the mix here, and this is where there are probably the most problems on the more ABBA Gold version of this. At 2:46 out of phase, you can hear a slight EQ drop. It's covered by a piano, which is obviously much brighter. The rest of the backing drops in EQ, and then the whole thing goes back to nice and sparkly at 2:52. Now, I might as well deal with 2 minutes 34 while I'm here as well. The left channel disappears in the more ABBA Gold mix. In the Astley mix, the whole instrumental passage is pan center, so that you don't notice that drop so much. But in the more ABBA Gold mix, you've got the two synthesizers, one panned one side, one panned the other, and at 2:34, a synthesizer that's been playing away suddenly drops out, and you're just left with a sort of high-pitched, whiny guitar sound on the left-hand side, and your ear goes a bit dead at that point. Finally, at 2:52, the backing vocals enter late in phase. There's a minor dropout on the left-hand side, but everything all comes back together at 2:54, and you can hear out of phase at 2:54. There's an edit, and those are the anomalies that I've found in Lovelight.